what I wanted to talk just briefly about, this is not an action item or anything I'm even suggesting be an action item. This is more for your knowledge, because I don't want us to end up in a situation and you say, well, wait a minute, I didn't know this, or I didn't remember that, or something of that nature. This is about use of facilities. And prior to this year, and I'm sorry, that's all the copies I have right now. Prior to this year, what we have done for many, many years, I can't tell you exactly how long, at the end of the year, Charlie and Linda would prepare a list of the outside groups who have utilized our facilities for lights, heat, air, those kinds of things, and submit it to the commission. And we would be reimbursed a recreation fee of $300,000. What Charlie would turn into the commission would far exceed $300,000 because of the amount of usage that we provide the community to our facilities. Now again, I'm not suggesting anything. In fact, I'm looking for ways to constantly get the community into our buildings, and we want them to utilize them. But with the closure of buildings, our spaces have gotten, we have less spaces, and we're moving some CHAC to Sullivan Heights and BYAA to Central and things of that nature. The part that I want to bring your attention to is I've given you two documents. The first document is the one that says to Sullivan County Board members from Charlie Hubbard, use of facilities. And I want to talk through our process just a little bit here. We have a procedure where community members and groups go online, and they actually sign up on a calendar there that Linda manages. We do have a use of facility policy followed with a procedure and also a form that they fill out. On this first page is what we used to have for our charges for uses of our facilities. We haven't done this for over a decade and longer probably, where we've actually charged anybody to use our facilities because of the reimbursement that we were getting. And we like that. We're happy.
So the county basically reimbursed us for the public to use it.
Mm-hmm.
We're partially reimbursed.
Right.
Yes.
Can I get a clarification before you go further? I've constantly gone through my notes, and I'm looking at 2018. Was it once $800,000, and now it's 300? I've got in my notes a couple of places that once we were at one time.
At one time, there was an additional 800,000 added to that 300, which made it 1.1 million.
Okay.
Then that 800 went away, and now the 300 has gone away, and that's the purpose of this conversation.
2019 was when
Is
it
to
was.
say, and I'll show you here in a minute how that has happened, but I just wanted to give you some background information here about how the community signs up. We have lots of community use of our buildings. We encourage it. Had Northeast State that toured one of our West Ridge the other day. I invited them to utilize that facility because they've been a great community partner to us, inviting us into their campus to use theirs. We've have some opportunity for other uses within our buildings, but you know, we want to be a good community partner. So please, this is not to misinform you at all. It's to inform you. When I say misinform, I don't want you to think the intent of the conversation is for any other reason. So that's the first document I've given you. The second document I've given you is the budget document. And what I would reference you to there first is page 50. And I don't know if we're short copies or does everybody have a copy?
Borrow that if you needed it.
I'm there.
I think I'll be okay. On page
Oh,
50.
use mine? I've seen it already.
Okay. If you look at page 50, you can see this is, first of all, let me show you, this is the budget, county budget document that was passed for 2021, 2022. This includes all departments in this document. On page 50 is the general purpose school fund. This is what we requested. You can see at the top, approved in 2019-20, 300,000. And then we requested in 21-22, 300,000 again from other government groups, which would be, meaning that we requested that 300,000 from the county as that reimbursement. So clearly, we made the request. The second page I would ask you to look at is page 36. On page 36, you can see pretty far down the page, recreation. If you look at the top, you can see that this is the general fund for the county government. So, recreation, you can see there was 300,000 in 2019-20, 300,000 funded and appropriated in 2020-21, and you can see that it was left blank for 21-22. It was taken out of the budget document, not by us. Okay, the next page I would ask you to reference is page 18. Page 18 is risk management, and I want you to just hold that thought. I want you to go to page 6, and I apologize that I didn't go there first.
Saw me struggling to switch ones.
On page 6, if you look at section 5, the last sentence where it says insurance losses shall be recovered against the respective departments, general, highways, or schools. That's something new this year that we had not anticipated, we had not been forewarned about until last minute. If you look back on page 18 under risk management, you'll see that the appropriation in 2020-21 was $1,474,750. The appropriation in 21-22 actually increases by $300,000 to $1,774,750. So it is our assumption, again, it's not a word I like or even like to use, that is where the $300,000 went from our recreation. It went into risk management to cover what they anticipate will be needed to cover the schools for those increased insurance costs, which I referenced to you on page 6. I just want to make sure that the people at this table have that information. I'm not suggesting, again, I'm not suggesting we do anything at this point as far as coming back and saying, okay, for this we are going to charge X amount, or do one, or say this community partner needs to do this or do that. We've always been, for nonprofits, we've always looked to those to not have charges. Those others, you know, in the past we have charged. The only entity right now that pays anything to use our facilities, and that was passed by this board several years ago, is the motorcycle group that uses the parking lot at Sullivan Heights. We also store their motorcycles there in a container as well. Other than that, we have not been charging for our facilities. Just something for you to have. We'll be starting our budget here very soon. In December, as a matter of fact, we'll start budget for next year. And having gone through the new budget requirements that we just went through this past year with the financial management system, We know that that budget is going to be expected early, so we want to make sure we do our part and get that budget in a timely manner. So we will start that planning process soon, and as we go through that process, this is something that I want you all to have knowledge of.
Just for information, by providing services after the school day, we do have added personnel costs, do we not? With
We have
custodians and
added
with
personnel
electricity?
costs with custodians, opening and closing the building, cleaning the building. Also, you know, we have lots of groups use our buildings on Saturdays, which, you know, we've done very well with them having keys to get in and out, and them policing the areas and doing a good job there. But it is an added responsibility.
And that's what the 300,000 was for over all those years, was for utilities
Yes.
and extras.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, I think at some point we have to have a discussion in this budget cycle about, I think it has to be addressed. I think we at least have to have the discussion. We can't allow money to disappear in the budget and not account for it. That $300,000 has to come from somewhere, and
And if it has to be addressed by next year, we need to notify the public, parents and so forth. I mean, I'd hate to put it on short notice, but if this spring or this winter, we realize that we've got to have it, or else we cannot keep the buildings open late at night, it would give the parents time to know that. It would give all these other organizations an opportunity to know that too.
I think it's important to me that we have budget conversations moving into the budget cycle. I also, I know that October is the month that we do our facility update as far as our budget agenda goes. We don't have a facility update for you all for the October meeting because we're kind of doing the September meeting tonight. So we will work on that. I would like for the board to consider in the next couple of months a one-day retreat where we could come together and go over several things as we prepare to get ready for the budget. And quite frankly, I think that most of the day would be spent going over the budget, where we are moving forward, because we have, by then, we should have all our ESSER plans approved. We can update you on those. Those are things that, the budget pieces are things that are hard to get as detailed as I'd like to get in a work session. And I think a one-day retreat would be something that I'd look forward to. That was just a piece of information for you all. I'll end there so that we can head downstairs and get ready for our board meeting.
when does this need to be discussed so that we have time for the public to know and that we get it in the budget? Because, you know, it's already October.
I think definitely after January, we start the budget process in January, give us an idea of what we're dealing with.
So I can ask for it to be put on the agenda.
If there's any extra papers that no one needs, you can just